Hey, I'm Allison from Learning at the Primary Pond. I'm a reading specialist, and in this video, I'm going to share 5 super fun and meaningful activities to help your first grade or second grade, or maybe even advanced kindergarten students learn about nouns. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell to be notified every time I post a brand new video about teaching literacy in K2. Okay, so first let's talk about nouns in general. Typically, I will start teaching about common nouns first. So common nouns would be like generals, people, places, things. So like table, common noun, right? School, common noun. Now proper nouns are specific people, places, or things. So for example, Riverdale Elementary School. That's a proper noun. It's a specific school. Trying to think of what else, like a person, Dr. King, that's a specific person versus just like man, which would be a common noun. So you probably know that already. I start by teaching common nouns and then we move into proper nouns as well. And this is really just first and second grade. I really don't do a lot of stuff with nouns in kindergarten. But anyway, one thing that I really value is not only teaching kids what nouns are and like doing fun activities, but also connecting the concept of nouns to real reading and writing. The reason why we teach kids nouns is to, even if it's not quite yet, to improve like their grammar and their sentence structure and their writing. We're not teaching them nouns just for the heck of it so they can memorize what it is and move on. We're teaching them for a specific purpose so that they can later apply that to really understand how the English language works. For example, they'll later learn, that adjectives can describe nouns. So, that's something that they can apply to their writing. So anyway, I feel that it's really important to not just teach them what a noun is and play all sorts of fun games, but also apply it connected to reading and writing. I remember when I was in school, I didn't have a ton of practice applying the concept of nouns to actual reading and writing. It was just sort of this like separate concept that we memorized and that was it. If you can relate to this, if you remember growing up learning about nouns but not actually getting that information connected to real reading and writing, I would love for you to type relate in the comments so that I can know if you also had a similar experience. Okay, so we want to change that experience for our students, right? Let's go ahead and go through these 5 activities. Again, these are ideal for like first or second grade. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to have my kids find examples of nouns in sentences. When I introduce nouns, so this is from my first grade Grammar Alive program, which is available in my Teachers Pay Teachers store, Learning at the Primary Pond, we will start with these sentences, and you might be able to see small in the corner here, there. This one is for people nouns, places nouns, things nouns. So the girl and the boy, so girl and boy, are the nouns. So I would introduce the concept of nouns, present this to the kids, and then have them find the example of people nouns. Then we do the same for places. We drove from school to the library, school. I forgot my backpack and my coat. Thing nouns, backpack, coat. So they would practice identifying nouns in real sentence examples. So again, this is not just teaching them what nouns are out of context, but having them apply it. I might also even have them look in their own writing for examples of nouns. That's an option too. Again, making those connections. So we'll definitely look for real examples. The next thing that I like to do is have them do this simple common noun sort. So I didn't bring the pictures with me, but I will have little pictures for them, and they will be pictures of people, places, or things. They're all nouns, and the kids have to sort them. Is this a people noun, a place noun, or a thing noun? It just kind of gets them going on that idea of what a noun is. So we'll do that sort. Number 3 is a scavenger hunt. So this is kind of similar to what I was talking about with finding examples. I love to have my kids look for examples of nouns in the books that they're actually reading to help them see, hey, we're learning about nouns, and nouns appear in books. So they can pull books from their book bags or the classroom library. If you're just teaching common nouns, you can have them maybe like, even I would say give them a paper like this, and they have to write the noun, but then also categorize it, like what kind of noun is it? Another thing you could do is you could just have them identify both proper and common nouns, and maybe you give them like a 2-column sheet. Proper nouns they find in books here, common nouns they find here. Kids love finding nouns in the wild. Super fun. And again, you're connecting what nouns are to real life reading and writing. Okay, So that's a scavenger hunt. Next up is a common versus proper noun sort. That actually would kind of go well with the scavenger hunt of common and proper nouns that I mentioned. All you do is you literally have a sheet like this, but it doesn't say this on top. It says like common nouns, proper nouns. You give the kids different words and they sort them, they glue them. You could even have them choose 2 of the words and write sentences with them. So very simple, but helps them practice distinguishing between common and proper nouns. And then the last activity that I like to do, so it's a board game that I'll show you in a second, but before we do this, we will make some sort of T-chart as a class. I wish I had more space to write here, but basically a T-chart's like this. And in one column, they will write, as a group, we'll work together to write common nouns. And then in the other column, we'll write examples of matching proper nouns. So for example, let's say that you write the common noun car. Then kids might say Honda. You know, that's a specific car or a car make. Or let's say that they do library. And then on the other side for proper nouns, they will do Sunnyvale Library or whatever the library name is in your town. So they are coming up with examples of common nouns and proper nouns. You may have to model this for them for a few things, but I like making a big chart on chart paper for the class or even just on the board. After we've done that, and they are, again, pretty well versed in what common and proper nouns are, then we'll play this fun board game. Kids can play this game with a partner or possibly a small group after you've done that T-chart as a whole group. And for this little game, I'll let you look at the board. What they're going to do is they have their little playing pieces, they roll a die, and then they get to move that number of spaces. And on this little game board are a bunch of common nouns, so like toy, month, city. If they land on month, they have to come up with a proper noun for that common noun. So they could say January. If they land on kid, they could say Ryan, that's a kid's name. For school, they could say the name of their school. So they're basically coming up with proper nouns to match the common nouns that they land on. Super simple board game. And the nice thing is you can reuse this and have them play it more than once because, of course, they can come up with all kinds of different nouns. Great way to practice what you've been teaching them. All right, I hope that these 5 ideas were helpful to you. I do have all of these materials for nouns and everything I've shown you, plus so many other materials in my Grammar Alive resources. I have those for kinder, first, or second grade in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. And those resources are really about, yes, getting kids excited about grammar, but also getting them to apply grammar concepts to real reading and writing, like we've talked about here. You do not need to be able to teach a grammar lesson every single day in order to use those resources. You can if you want to, but I know a lot of teachers are pressed for time, so you can absolutely make Grammar Alive work, even if you don't have time for a lesson every day. Hope this was helpful. Thanks so much for watching. Look for the link for Grammar Alive below, and I will see you in the next video.